Hello and welcome to the National Lunch and Learn League with AnnieMac Home Mortgage and AnnieMac Works. I want to thank all the mortgage professionals for bringing their real estate referral partners together this afternoon. And if you happen to be joining us on our on-demand library live at AnnieMacWorks.com, we certainly appreciate any opportunity that we have to instill a sense of what's new, what's next, and what's different in the residential real estate business. We hope to help you with professionalism and purpose and productivity. We want you to make more money. That's what this whole thing is about. And today is a very brief National Lunch and Learn League. Today is a little bit more like a public service announcement. Our residential real estate referral partners across the country are hurting from lack of inventory, low inventory across the country. So many of our real estate referral partners, even the best buyers agents in the country, are struggling. They have hundreds of buyers, but no homes to show. There's no listings. And in a lot of our cases, our realtors just need some help and direction as to where they might be able to find some listing inventory. So today's public service announcement, wrapped up in a National Lunch and Learn League event, will be between 15 and 20 minutes just to give you all of the REO opportunities in a nutshell. The CDPE, Certified Distressed Property Expert Real Estate designation, is back after about a 6-year reprieve. There weren't a lot of depressed properties or distressed properties in the market during the recovery. We've been seeing absolute meteoric appreciation across the country. So there haven't been a lot of foreclosure properties from 2013 on into about today's market. But a lot of the experts are starting to project, and I think the reason that the CDPE is coming back as a designation, quite simply, the unemployment rates caused many people to go into forbearance or default on their mortgages. And we've been watching this closely as the federal government is lifting the foreclosure moratoriums and restrictions on our investors and their requirements to do forbearance agreements. The HUD, FHA, USDA, and VA loans, including Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, will be exiting forbearance on September 30th, 2021, which is just a few weeks away from when this particular REO Opportunities discussion was put together. And just recently, the foreclosure moratoriums were lifted July 31st from all of those major government-insured mortgages. So what we have is a real scale crisis in the lives of about 4 million families in the United States right now. And I'm going to show you what I mean by that. 1 in 12,000 homes are in foreclosure, about 1.8 million families. And more than 2 million are still in some form of forbearance agreement that is set to expire. Many of them are set to expire as early as September 2021. So if we average that opportunity for realtors across 50 states, we could speculate, about 40,000 REO listings per state. And if some number of the forbearance cases end up in foreclosure as well, which is to be expected, that number could grow as high as 76,000 REO listings coming in your state during the next 12, 18, 24 months. But when we dig a little deeper into the higher population states, we certainly find that much like the crisis of 2007, 8, 9, and 10, the Nevada market has almost twice as many foreclosure filings as some of the other markets. Delaware, Illinois, Florida, New Jersey. These are the states that AnnieMac is very, very present in and has an opportunity to help you as a residential real estate professional. So if you're in one of these states, like New Jersey or Florida, for example, you may see between 150 and 200,000 REO properties listed during the next 6 to 24 months. And I don't believe that's going to be enough distressed property to create a crash. I'm not speculating a crash, and I'm not a gloom and doom crash projector, but I am very clear about the highest population areas where there's a little bit more transient move in, move out. Maybe you've only owned your home for a year or two. And if you're in Champaign, Illinois, or Peoria, Illinois, Cleveland, Ohio, Bakersfield, California, Mobile, Alabama, these are the metro areas that have at least 200,000 in population and have the highest foreclosure rates in this calendar year. So, it's easy to see where a state like Illinois may actually be more like 400,000 foreclosures. A state like Ohio, hundreds of thousands of foreclosures. California, and certainly Florida and Alabama. So in order to set the tone for this, the only analogy I could think of was a gym. And if you walk into a large gym like an LA Fitness or a 24-hour fitness in your market, you're going to see there's the crazy new CrossFit stuff in the middle of the gym. There's the free weights off to the right and bottom. You've got Nautilus machines on the left bottom, swimming pool on the right top left, and then you've got all the treadmills and cycles that you can work out at in that particular gym. And I want to paint the picture for you that your real estate career looks exactly like this gym, right? Dead center of your career is your personal sphere of influence database. So if you're not doing your personal sphere of influence database mining, you're not marketing proactively to your sphere, then you're just not participating in that area of the gym, if you know what I mean. You go over to the treadmills and you might draw an analogy between geographic farming. I go into the gym all the time, but I don't go over those treadmills. So I'm not a farming agent, and I don't really work my sphere of influence per se. I like to spend time in the free weight section. I don't like to go to the treadmill. I don't like to go to that CrossFit stuff. I don't use the free weights, and I don't use the pool. I just really, in my real estate career, I just stay with expireds and buy owners. Expireds and buy owners is all I do. Now, if this analogy is going to translate well into your REO opportunity, I want you to see the REO opportunity in this space much like you would see one of those sections to the gym. So it's not if you can do push-ups or not, it's just, are you doing push-ups? It's not if you can bench press weights, it's are you bench pressing weights, right? So when you go into a gym and you see a real estate career gym, you see farming, sphere of influence, for sale owners, expireds, pay-per-click advertising, and you see all these opportunities to go better your career, just like you see all these opportunities to better your physical fitness in a gym. Stop suggesting that the opportunity is to be judged by you. Start to say to yourself, I'm personally responsible for not going for a 10-lap swim. It's not my cup of tea. Well, if REO is not your cup of tea, then that's a personal responsibility challenge, right? You can't say I'm not an REO agent because REO agents don't make any money. That wouldn't make sense. But you could say I'm not an REO agent because that doesn't represent my cup of tea or my personal selling style, right? But if you wanted to pursue REO opportunities with AnnieMac partnering with you to help, you're going to just get to a list of REO companies. And then you're going to visit the asset manager's website. Step one is to visit Green River Capital's website. Find the place on their website that they accept BPO and REO applications. I'm going to recommend 30 to start off with a longer term goal of 100 applications during the next few months. If you want to get ahead of the 50, 60, 70,000 listings that are going to come into your state, you're going to fill out those applications. And I added the word accurately, right? You can't have misspellings and mispronunciations and grammar problems and uncapitalized letters in a REO application. They're looking for people that can dot their I's and cross their T's. Next thing we're going to talk about is joining REO organizations and networking or even farming your asset managers. So one of the original networks that helped us get involved back in Foreclosure Fridays back in 2007, 8, and 9 was the REO network. The original REO network for brokers and agents to join. They do annual events, they do regional events. You can learn a lot about REO agency that way. Kind of another sidebar would be reobroker.com. They have a membership driven registered users that create a directory, give you a little bit more credibility when you're making your applications. And then last but not least, if you just find ResNet, you find Goodman Dean, you find American Homeowner Preservation Companies or asset valuation and marketing companies, and you have to treat them a little bit like a prospect, right? How do you make your application stand out? Do you provide a cover letter? Do you show them that you've joined these other networks and you have any experience in the local market that would resonate with them? A number of properties sold. I took the liberty to pull up the top BPO companies projected to have the most volume of REOs during the next 6 to 18, 24 months. Clear Capital came out number one, Service Link, ProTech, Residential Real Estate Review. As you see these names, these are the names like Assurant and Old Republic that we had to become very, very familiar with back in the 2007, 8, 9 crisis. And what we were able to do is to extrapolate application processes that worked well, okay? So you need to now go ahead and make these applications. Remember, this is a public service announcement to our real estate referral partners across the country, just to highlight the opportunity with Altisource or Banker Asset Management. Some of these companies have been around for decades. REO Nationwide, for example, Trio. You can go in, find their applications, and make those applications on behalf. Now, you will need cooperation from your real estate broker owner, and that real estate broker and the broker owner company is going to have to be part and parcel to those applications. So let's run through one of the processes to help you get started.
So you may know that I run a residential real estate brokerage down in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and I am in the process of making asset manager applications for the coming influx. Something in the vicinity between 30 and 60,000 listings will be dispersed in Florida during the next 18 to 24 months, I would guess. And that gives us an opportunity to pick up a couple hundred transactions if we get approved by a couple of asset managers. So the first thing I recommend doing is go through our list of asset managers. We will provide you a free list of asset managers, but Google the word REO Asset Manager Contact List or REO Asset Manager, and you will see hundreds of listings for asset managers that manage REO properties. This is a particular section, the HUD Homes USA site. Obviously, if you can ever get in with HUD, then there's a short list of asset managers. But I wanted to point out one thing outside of the clubs and the vendors is companies like VRMCO. Let's just click on this and see where it takes us and see if it takes you anywhere fruitful. So the first thing we see is asset manager and disposition services. So we know we're in the right place. This is a company that outsources all of the field services and asset management services for large banks that are being involved in this foreclosure wave. Join our vendor network. So I want you to go ahead and act as though we click here at VRM Mortgage Services, join our vendor network, and let's see what it says together as a team. I think it says here that we're actively recruiting the following vendor types, which is property preservation and field services. Field services is what you have to do before you go to list the property. You have to go make an inspection of the property. Property preservation services sometimes have to cover the pools or make the roof leak free, even secure windows and doors that might be unlocked. So these field service vendors are usually handyman or side companies that real estate agents work with, and deed prep vendors, foreclosure eviction attorneys. So obviously they're gearing up for a large influx of foreclosures. Register to be a vendor. This is just like Any other type of networking or application process, you put your best foot forward, but in the application, it's going to say, are you a real estate broker? Are you, are you an eviction specialist or whatever? So you fill it out as a real estate broker. You have to get your broker's involvement. DBA was Homeowner Assist was the name of our brokerage. We just changed the name to Home Hunt. But Home Hunt and Homeowner Assist were our brokerages, and we just go in and fill out all this information real quick. All of your information for the brokerage has to go in. Individual agents need their broker's information to apply. That's important. And once you hit I agree and register, you have officially made an application with an asset manager. My recommendation is that you make dozens and dozens and dozens of applications, not one or two. Go ahead and make as many as you possibly can during this following the next 30 days, because between, let's say, September, October, November of 2021 and going on into 2022, there are going to be, in almost every state in the nation, there are going to be tens of thousands of foreclosures. If you take the 1.8 million foreclosures predicted, and then some experts are predicting more like 2.5 or 2.8 million foreclosures in the United States over the next year or two. I would suggest that there's a good indicator that you would be well served to be positioned with asset managers now, gearing up for HUD, Fannie, Freddie, government, and conventional foreclosures that are going to come from the moratorium being lifted. So it's our job to point you towards best practices and income producing opportunities. I'm going to show you one more asset manager that I think you should make an application for right away. Okay, I want to give you one more example how this vendor surf website is very, very useful for a company like mine trying to make applications with REO Asset Managers. As we perused many pages of asset management companies, we come down here to Single Source Property Solutions, and when we click on it, it takes us to their website. Here's Single Source, helping advance home ownership. Find out more. Quickly scanning the careers link, there's a portal for vendor partners. When I clicked on vendor partner, it opened up a new site to find your place. And if you look carefully, there is a specific link for realtors and brokers. So doesn't have to be hunt and peck, because we're going to give you the list, but I promise you, you're going to have to go ahead and make a bunch of applications if you ever want to be approved as an asset management resource realtor. So apply now. If you're an inspector, property preservation, for all of the vendor classes, go ahead and make an application. And there you go. There's the application to make. And just so you guys know, when I hosted Foreclosure Fridays for about 4 years, from 2006 and a half to 2009 or 10, we made hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of real estate agents across the country very wealthy with asset management applications. We discovered when there's an influx of foreclosures, the asset managers are scrambling to find realtors. So today is the day that you, as a real estate agent, should be make a goal to make 100 applications during the month of August. And while we can't guarantee you, based on your experience or your corporation application, we can't guarantee that you're going to get approved, but we can guarantee you that you can't get approved unless you make applications. It's like that old lottery adage, right? It says you can't win if you don't play. Well, you can't get any REO listings if you don't make asset management applications. I strongly recommend to go to VendorSurf and make an application on every single one of these asset managers.
So there you have it. It's a public service announcement from AnnieMac Home Mortgage and AnnieMac Works to all of our real estate referral partners across the country about REO opportunities. Quite simply, visit the asset manager websites on these lists that we've provided. find the BPO or REO applications. I do want to make a special note. Some companies combine BPO realtors with their REO realtors, and the larger asset management companies separate BPO from REO. Just ask your asset manager if doing BPO work for him would be a value to the asset manager, or if he separates the BPO work agents from the REO applications, and fill out as many applications as you can accurately. Join some REO organizations and start to network and farm your asset managers across the country. This has been the National Lunch and Learn League with AnnieMac Home Mortgage in a format that we really liken to a public service announcement today, just to kind of shift your focus to take a peek into that area of the gym to determine whether you want to apply some discipline and some rigor to get in front of 60, 80, 100,000 REO listings that are going to hit your state during the next 2 years. Most of you are suggesting that you need extra listings and you can't find homes to show. When you become an REO agent, you have the high value, distressed, somewhat discounted listings in your market, which attracts a lot of buyers. So off to the races. We will see you at the closing table.